Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Normal Bias Podcast. How are you this week, Normal Biasers? Hey, Christy.
Good morning. So it's
Good
Saturday morning.
It's Saturday morning, and thank you, Jesus. It's a beautiful morning. The sun is out. The past week has been gray and wet and cold. It's still cold, but it looks awesome outside.
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything out of the house today?
I am not. Matt is with his dad for half of the week. So our school district has the next week off. I guess it's winter break. I don't know what we call it. Our district schedule is very, very different. But so he's with his dad for the first half, and I will have him the second half. So the first half, I want to paint my bedroom. I have some replanting to do.
What color are you painting it?
White. Mm-hmm.
That makes my heart so happy. It's going to change it so much.
It's bright so much. I just want it to be bright and clean and yes, just bright.
I love that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's still, like I said, it's still cold. I don't know what it's there. It's like 30 here. Probably feels like 20 something. That whole thing.
We have a shoot in a little bit, and I'm like, oh. I always click on the maps to find the weather. I'm like, I don't know if I've moved. Oh, it's 31 here.
Okay. Yeah, it's 30 here. So I do hope to get out a little bit this weekend, but I don't know if it's going to be today. Tomorrow is a little warmer. We're back up to 57. Mm-hmm. There's lots of sunshine in the forecast. So that makes me very happy.
Yeah. We have one.
So what about you?
Well, we have
you have a shoot.
We have a shoot in a little bit, and it's at an estate sale. It's a whole thing. I'm excited. But I don't know, so my assumption is it'll at least be like in the garage, if not fully outside. So I was trying to decide what to wear today because I generally have like bare ankles, and I was like, so I think I'm just gonna suck it up and wear my Vans or maybe put my little booty things on. So this is what I'm thinking about this morning is my ankles, and then my back. And then we started a game of Monopoly last night before Noble went out.
I saw your post. I love how you said started a game of Monopoly. This is why I don't start games of Monopoly.
Well,
not the longest game ever.
Yeah, about 30 minutes into the game, James looked at me and he said, I don't like the side of you that comes out when we play Monopoly. This is why I don't play Monopoly with you. Or this is why I don't like playing with you. And I was like, all right. So we kind of found our groove again. But then when it was time to shut it all down so Noble could leave, it was just getting good. So we did the whole thing. We all clipped our stuff and took a picture. So we'll finish that today. And then this afternoon, Casey is coming in. We're going to have an early dinner. And then she's going to spend the night. So y'all, this is life in a small town. She had to come in. She accidentally sent something special that she ordered, had it mailed here. And so she was like, well, I'll just come in. Well, our Mr. Gaddy's opened last week.
Y'all have Mr. Gaddy. Okay, wait, like for real, Mr. Gaddy's, like the one we had in North Fork?
Mr. Gaddy's on the way to Austin. It's when you're coming, if you come through town this week, it'll be on your left, right before where Flamingo Ranch and Independence Coffee is. Just past the bowling alley, or just before the bowling alley. I forget.
Is it a buffet?
Mm-hmm. And my mom is a little bit scandalized because she saw on the Facebook group for Brenham Food People that it's $14 a person. And I was like, I didn't have the heart to tell her, Mom, that's just what food costs. If I told her what I spent on lunch last weekend, I think she would probably be like, Chrissy Lynn.
Oh my gosh, it truly is. I was just talking about this yesterday about how much things cost. Like Chick-fil-A salad is $11.
Is that with a drink, dude?
That's not with a drink. That's just the salad. $11. So
James and I are in financial limbo right now because we're switching over to a new system, and we're switching the way our business is structured and stuff, and so that means we have to completely separate our finances and do everything right. but we couldn't get in with our accountant. We started this process last year and we couldn't get our accountant meeting until this next week. And so my goal has been to have as few transactions as possible. So in case I have to go back and like switch things around or account for things differently, I don't have a lot of work to do. And I told James this morning in bed, I was like, I have actually enjoyed not spending money. I've enjoyed not having like the, like the $4 here and the $3 there and the $12 there. I've enjoyed like eating. I've enjoyed cooking. I cooked 3 meals yesterday.
Wow. Oh my gosh, yesterday. That's
Well,
amazing.
instant oatmeal, microwave oven Indian food, and then I made meatball soup, which was all I had to do was chop up vegetables and then put it together. But I was like, but still, for me to make 3 meals at home.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's back to quarantine days.
I know, except I didn't make any homemade bread because Casey's not here.
Yeah. Well, we've been Matt and I, so Matthew was with me every night this week, which usually he's either gone a night or 2 nights, depending on the week. But we cooked dinner every night this week. Like he and I sat down and we wrote down on Sunday, what do we want to eat? Or maybe it was Monday. I don't know. And we did, and I cooked it and we ate it. And then I took whatever to lunch or, so I was very proud of us for we've been trying not to eat out either because it's just crazy. And so I know we're going to Austin this week, so I wanted to save up as much as I could. So we'll be eating out there.
Well, but I mean, like for us, for even a family of 3 to go out, it's like $50.
Oh yeah, it's just
it's like
crazy.
20 for Taco Bell if we don't get a package of something.
It's just nuts.
It is. But one of the things I kind of had to let go of is trying to watch what I eat, which right now, like I made a baklava this week, so I've had baklava every day since I made it.
I haven't had baklava in so long. I did not know you knew how to make it. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I love it.
I don't know how to make it, and I didn't make it right, but man, it tastes good.
But you made it.
Huh?
I said, but you made it.
I did, and I have a roll of dough in there, so when you come visit, we can make it again. But I just sort of like, that's sort of me in the kitchen, right? Like I just wing it. And so sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great. And one of the things I've had to let go of, like when you look at I put our meals on the window, where I put our calendar in the kitchen. And like some of it's processed. Like one of our meals coming up is just brats. I got brats to grill and then buns. And then we'll have, raw veggies or chips or whatever on the side. So it's a mix of real food, frozen food. Like it's not all like food that I want to put in my food planner. It's not all food that I want to cop to. But I feel like that's a good trade because it's that way we're all like contributing like what we want to eat. We're all eating it. And so the Indian food was an experiment. It wasn't a failed experiment, but we won't do it again. So I guess
I love Indian food. I don't even know when I decided I liked it. I can't remember. Oh, the first time I ever ate it was at I don't remember if it was a wedding shower or a bridal shower or a baby shower that Dawn hosted, her and Katrina, and they had Indian food there. And it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
I feel like somewhere there's Indian. I love India. I love things from India. I love music, fashion, like all the things. So when I tasted the food, it was so good. And I feel like a connection there.
I love my impression. I don't know anything about India or, just having had a few friends over the years, but my impression of it, like the food, the clothes, the music, the movie, like all of it is just like richness, like the depth of color and flavor and all the things. I love that.
And one of my favorite, like, it's something I think about as far like, here we go, talk about organizing and clutter and stuff. But Oprah Winfrey it was around the Slumdog Millionaire movie time. I don't know what year that was, but she was in India and she was interviewing a family in their home. And it was it was really just a room, basically. I think they had a bathroom, but one room, a small room, and they had everything they needed. And just, it was, I need to find it because it was fascinating to me how, like, it was the kitchen, it was the living room, it was the bedroom, it was, and I remember her too going, wow, because they had everything they needed and everything was just put away and it was so efficient. And I always come back to that when, and I think, that's all you need is the people you love were in that room, the food that you cook, the place to sit, the place to lay your head. Like, it was just in that room. And it's so embarrassing sometimes when I think about it. I'm like, my closet was probably as big as their house, like where they lived. Like, it was tiny. And I can't remember if there was 4 or 5 of them that lived there, and they were as happy as can be.
Mhm.
I just remember seeing that. And I think about it when I, start to think, oh, when I get on the gram and I'm like, look at their house, look at their cars, look at all these places they go. And then I think back to that sweet family who, they were as happy as can be, I'm telling you. And that house was so tiny, but they had everything they needed. And Oprah asked them, like, wouldn't you like to have a bigger house? I mean, and sure, I think they said sure, but they're like, but we already have everything we need here. It's
Mhm.
like, wow, so crazy cool. I don't know how I got there, but they pop in my head every now and then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think about that a lot. Like I think about, what could I live with? And I don't
Mhm.
need the majority of what I have. I have so much. Well, just if I cut down my toys alone and my books.
Yeah,
So,
I know. When I going back to, I think it was before Harvey, but there was one storm here in Houston that and I was still married. We decided we were all going to sleep in the closet because we weren't sure what the night was going to bring. And I remember that night too, thinking, this is all I need. Like, I want these 3 people to be safe and with me always. And I think the boys, brought some stuff that were special to them at the time, but uh, Matt wasn't in school. I'm just now thinking, I think Alex was in like kinder, first grade, because he drew pictures of all the trees that fell. It
mhm,
was a really bad storm. But
it
yeah, and,
was
you see all the people
probably,
who
was it, I'm trying to think the hurricane when my dad was sick and that
come. Was it
took out North
Ike?
Shore. What was that?
Was it Ike? I
Yes,
don't know.
like in 2008.
Yeah.
Because that's,
So, and
and
you
because
watch
Casey
people.
and Alex would have been in kindergarten.
That had to been that. Yes. And I just think, this is it. This is what everybody in here, that's it. I don't care about anything else. And you watch people on the floods when like Harvey, and they're coming out with one trash bag or a backpack of their stuff, but it's just like they're clinging onto their people and their pets. And
Mhm,
let's just remember that's really the stuff that is important.
mhm.
Yeah,
The rest of it's just gravy. And
it
it's good
really
gravy.
is.
And I'm grateful for the gravy, but it's not, and I'm also grateful that we've never been tested. Like, well, okay, what can you not live without? We are very lucky to not, to be able to think about these questions and not actually have to answer them. I don't ever
Yeah.
want to forget, like, like I had, one of my friends from camp passed away and she has kids like Alex and Casey's age. And I think about, like I'm so grateful. Like that was my gratitude this morning was for health. Like that I don't have to think about that right now. It doesn't mean that won't change today or tomorrow, but I'm grateful that that's not what my kids are going through today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
we just have to stop and be. That's the whole thing, right? Like when you look at what you have and you're grateful for that. When you take your eyes off what you don't have and look at what you have, then that's when that gratitude grows from that.
Mm-hmm.
When you look
To
at
have
it like in
more.
the abundance of what you have instead of the scarcity of what you feel like you lack. Because really, we don't lack anything. Like neither of us. Like we can have, we were talking before we came on about clutter and money and debt and all the things and all the feelings, but we're really so lucky to live where and when we do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't want to
I
forget that.
definitely feel that. Like, it's this is my bills notebook. And when I flip to the, the clean page for this month's bills and I look at the numbers and then I look around me like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thanks God that I am still in here.
Yeah.
And in this neighborhood. And then, like, cause if you look at it on paper, I should be in a cardboard box.
We call that
Like,
God math. Like that's God's math. Like it doesn't, and you can't
it
count
is.
on it, right? Like you can't be like, oh, it's cool. I'll get that Lexus. God will work it out. That's not how it works. That'd be fun.
Not at all. Would be fun. But anywho.
Oh, okay. So I feel like, so here's the thing. Brenda came up with this topic a while back, and I think you're chickening out. I think you don't really want to answer the question that we're going to answer, that we're going to ask today. I think that Brenda is ashamed.
I am a little bit. And part of why I am like starting to breathe a little heavier and why you're seeing the anxiety on my face already is because what we were talking about before this about clutter is all the feelings and the postponed, like, so as soon as I say this number, as soon as this gets out in the universe and whoever listens to this, I'm going to have to deal with it. And you guys are going to have to hold me accountable because it's about to be out there. Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to push pause on you. Like, and if y'all can see my finger right now, I'm pushing pause on Brenda's little square on the computer. So what we were talking about is what we're talking about today is something that Brenda and I have talked about before. And we were talking about how we just keep coming back to clutter right now. And I think that for me, part of that is because I'm working through, like, with therapy and with coaching and with just life and growth. I'm learning how to feel at 47. Yay! I'm learning how to feel my feelings. I'm learning how to choose to show up. I'm learning that I can choose that I can teach people how to treat me. Like, I'm learning all these things. I'm learning how to be a good steward of our finances. I'm learning how to run a business instead of just running a business and hoping it all works, which, has gotten us this far.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, Brenda said something like, this clutter, like we just, just keeps coming up. Well, it's not. I was like, clutter is just an outward representation of all of these feelings and all these things. Like when I am not in a good place, I just buffer. I don't feel what I need to feel. I don't see the clutter. I don't think about money. I don't think about debt. I don't think about calories. I don't think about doing anything to help myself. I just think about not thinking about all the things I need to think about. But then when you're in this place, this weird place where Brenda and I both find ourselves right now, as you start feeling all the things, you also start seeing all the things. You start seeing your piles. You start seeing that, like, oh, I've got 4 pairs of jeans I haven't worn since college. I'm probably not going to wear them. All the things, right? Like, or that you've got like your kids' baby books still on the shelf, like board books. Well, we don't have any babies in our houses. So, and these are just random things, but when you start feeling all the things and actually start working towards where you want to be, we have to go back and deal with all these decisions that we've delayed. And that's what clutter is. And I feel like we should have talked about this after, because now we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. And you know what? That's okay. We're going to pull this clip out of context. That's what we're going to do, because I think it'll be funny, but it's not funny, but it is funny because it has come up with the new content idea for y'all that I love. And it's called,
What is your number? Ooh.
I told my husband we were going to do this, and he was like, oh. So Brenda,
what is your number?
What's your number? And I just wish that we did man on the street interviews, because I would love to walk up to somebody and stick your mic.
Right when you said, what is your number, Christy? Internet just froze.
So the internet froze, which I think is so funny.
I am like, I don't know if we were gonna address the freeze, and then I kept talking, and then all of a sudden it said, "You're still the host." I just love this show. But you see someone out there, I feel like the universe just said, we're just going to give her another minute so she doesn't have to put her number out there yet. She's not ready. I can't stop laughing because as soon as you said, "What is your number?"
Well, I feel like now we better hurry before it freezes again. Okay, Brenda.
Okay.
Brenda has been working this number out on her phone. Brenda, what's your number?
16,280. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to push pause again.
And that's not how many.
Raise your right hand. I promise not to judge anyone for their number. We should have done that before you said 16,000. Sorry, Brenda. Because I judged you a little before I promised. I'm sorry. Do you want to know mine?
Yes, I want to know yours. I promise not to judge.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can after that, but that's cool. You ready? I have to get back. Brenda had to teach me how to figure it out. Oh, I added one when we did the thing.
Oh.
6,910.
Well, 6,910. I have number envy. I want to get my number there. I want to get this number. Y'all, this number overwhelms me so much. And I don't know what to do, but I'm working on it with some of the little things that I've been doing in the last month or so.
Well, I feel like people like the girls and the guys listening could help with this. So Brenda, tell them what your number is.
Right.
The number you actually can run backwards. It's not like Ferris Bueller with the miles. It's not like your number where you are, but this one you can work with.
It definitely is not my number. If y'all knew that number, well, some people know the number. A lot of people know that number, but that's not one. I don't. That's another.
But now I want to know
when the number is like low, it also makes me feel like, ooh, is there something wrong with me? Why? Anyway, this number 16,280 is how many pictures are on my camera roll. Pictures, videos, screenshots, all the things that your camera roll saves.
Okay, well, let me put this in perspective for you because let me see.
And so I don't know if you've been listening to our last 3 or 4 episodes, I've been really working on when I'm at places or when I'm eating food or when something happens, I'm not taking pictures or video. 2 things. I feel like then I'm more present because my phone isn't in my hand. 2, I don't want to add to the number. And because 3, honestly, I do go back and look at some of the pictures because every now and then I'll just dump people's texts. I'll text people. I'll just dump pictures like, that I see of them or things we did. Sorry, Maddie, Preston, Alex, Matthew. It's a lot of things I send them or Alex's friends when I see pictures of them. Garrett, Ryan, so sorry. So I've been really and I need to sit and just delete a lot of the things. And I've also been trying to talk to myself about the memory is still there because I don't know if this is a generational thing or because my kids really don't take a lot of pictures. Kids Snapchat. And if you know Snapchat, you snap a picture or snap a quick clip and it disappears supposedly forever.
No, it doesn't.
Right. It doesn't. But that's the concept. It doesn't
take the camera roll. unless
Right.
you screenshot it. Mhm.
Right. And so I would like to know my kid's camera or my kid's number because I think theirs are significantly low.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so this number has been just on me. And like, and I do scroll and I look and I'm like, oh yeah. And then, there's also my sweet neighbor down the road. Every now and then, she hasn't done it in a really long time, but she used to like to grab my phone because I didn't have a password. And she'd just go to town and like gift me with like 50 selfies of herself. And then I can't get rid of those because she's so fresh. And I'm like, help, I'm gonna stop talking. 16,280.
Well, I was when I told you my number, I was scrolling back through because I was trying to figure out how far my photos go back on this phone. So because of my job, I keep a new phone. Like, so I've only had this one since the fall. And I was looking at it, and it's, for some reason, I have a bunch of pictures back like 2 years. Um, I really thought that when I got this one, so I play this game with myself. Like, when I get a new phone, I'm only going to pull over a few of my favorites, like the things that, like, I keep some records on my phone, like hardened in my favorites, like the kids' shot records. They're, those little things that you fill out for school that have their insurance and the doctors and dentist numbers and all the things. Like, some things I keep favorited on my phone. I also keep several memes, like Billy Crystal with the wet pants from that. What's that parental guidance, that movie? And then there's like a Mr. Bean with the toothpicks and Buddy the Elf. Like, I keep memes that I send to my people over and over again. Like, you can't just do that on your phone. But anyway, so my number is crazy high because every week, how many photos do I either take for my clients or transfer from my computer to my phone to post on their Instagram? So I should be going back and deleting every week. I should be, like picking one or two or however many are appropriate of the memory and keeping those instead of keeping the 14 that I took until my eyes were both open at the same time. So you guys, like, here's the thing, like, here's Brenda and I know what to do, right? What you do is, like, so I have been telling myself this since I started Project Life in 2013. Is that once a week, I should take like 30 minutes and clean up my camera roll for that week. And if I theoretically, then what I would do is transfer those to a folder on my computer or wherever I want to save them. And it would say like February 2022. And then, like, do a March 2022. And then that way, like, someday when I'm dead and my kids go back to find pictures from my funeral, they could just be like, oh, here it is. Here's 2022. But I don't do that. So what I'll do is every once in a while when I get a new phone, I'll have James transfer everything and then I'll just dump it in a folder somewhere. So I don't even know where my since 2007 phone photos are. James used to be really good about keeping everything in digital folders. And my brother is so good at it. Like, when you go to Ronnie's house, his Apple TV, like, whenever we sit down, like, he can pull up family events, he can pull up videos, he can do, like, it's so well, he's so good with his digital organization. So that's kind of my bar. But yeah, but I'm not
Digital
doing it.
organization. Well, no. And so that's my number, my digital photos on my camera. But upstairs, I have boxes like copy, like photo albums, or they're all in like copy boxes, like the reams of cases of copy boxes I got from work to dump those pictures in. So I have those too. I mean,
Are they organized or just in the boxes?
they're just in boxes. Nothing is organized. None of my photos are organized. You would think, and see, this is what I tell people, like, I, I don't, I have lots of things that I need help with. I am not perfect. I mean, you look at everything that's out, it's organized. Yes, but there are things hidden and numbers I hide. It's just overwhelming. And so here at the ripe old age of 49, I've decided well, I'm just going to, I'm just going to stop taking as many pictures, and I'm going to try and delete some. And that's another project that I'd like to kind of tackle upstairs, is really just get those pictures out. And I think at this point, it's too much to organize. Like, sounds like your brother has, like, of course I would love to scan them in and put them in folders and have it all digital, the hard copies, I guess, that we used to print. Cause that's another thing. We don't print pictures hardly anymore.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I
It puts
just
us
want
in
to
a
kind of,
weird place, like, because half of it's digital, half of it's printed, and then what do you do with them?
right. What do you do with them? And I don't even know. I mean, I've showed my kids a lot of those pictures, but what's really kind of funny is, like, do they even know what they looked like? I don't, because they haven't seen those pictures. They've been in boxes and they're just printed out. Like, we haven't really, like, ever sat and looked at pictures. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. I
So
do.
why do I have them? I don't know.
Okay, well, I just have an idea.
Okay.
So, like, was it last year that we did February and we like did feel all the feelings February, and I think that was our
Oh,
birthday. So
it
I feel
was.
like we're early in February. It's only the 5th. It's Steve's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Steve-O.
Like,
Yeah.
he's listening. I haven't texted him yet. But what if, like, in February, like, what if we like spend February and feel all of our feelings, but then starting in March, like, what if we have a project? Like, what if, like, every month we pick an area and, like, just attack that, whether it's clutter
Area.
or whether it's like a health thing? Like, what if we do like a challenge, and like even if we just hold each other accountable for a month?
I
So,
like that a lot.
like, maybe February is like feeling our feelings and figuring out what we want to work on. And then, like, maybe March we start with, um, like, maybe March we just start with like taking like 5 minutes a day and working on phone photos.
Mm-hmm. I
Or,
like that.
and because so my brother just got some sort of a photo scanner, and he told me I can bring my stuff up and scan it. But so we are, all of our stuff now, except for James's box of photos, all of my stuff, all of our family stuff is in boxes and folders by years, to put into scrapbooks. And so I've been working on that since my 30th birthday. Actually, I've been putting that off since my 30th birthday. Um, but I went back and looked at, like, when I was doing Project Life, when I was doing like actual scrapbooking, each week has two big pages, and it's like minutia. It's like the teeniest, tiniest parts of our week, which is great for me and my mommy heart. But my kids don't care. And they certainly don't care if like everything is journaled or labeled.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm conflicted because James really wants us to have like scrapbooks that the kids can pull out and open. But part of me would like to have, like, stick stuff in scrapbooks, but also have it organized digitally by year, by event, whatever. So I feel like I need to commit to, not I need to, I've committed to finishing that project and getting stuff in the books. But then I think I'm going to have, like, I think what I want to do is like take photos of the pages of the books and then turn those into digital
Mm-hmm.
books, and then also organize our stuff digitally. So I don't know. It feels like a lot of work, and I make things really difficult. Even like if you're listening to that, that probably sounds like a whole lot of unnecessary work for that nobody's ever going to care about except for me. But maybe we have
No.
a place to start, and maybe the place is, a few minutes a day cleaning up our camera roll.
Mm-hmm. I definitely need to do that. And like I said, it's just, and not, I think I don't get new phones that often, but this one is maybe a year, maybe 2 years old. But what I heard you say and what I didn't do is I just transferred everything over.
Mhm.
And then I just keep adding and adding and adding. So I'm adding to the number. And I think mine goes back to 2014,
Mhm.
which was right around the, time where we were, you know, about to be divorced or getting, and it was said out loud. So just so many things. And one day, not too long ago, like I said, I want to ask the kids what their numbers are. But my niece was here, Maddie was here, and I can't remember if it was which boy it was, but she said, "Remember when we did da da da?" And they were talking about this memory, and it made me happy because it was something like years had passed, and they remembered, and they were talking about it, and they just, I love that they were talking about the memory and how much fun they had. And I thought, oh, that was so cool. That was a fun day. Like, I'm glad y'all remember that. And then it just made me feel good that, and it just makes me think, okay, the memory is still there in their heads. They had fun. Look how much it made them feel. You don't have to have 20 pictures of it. It's,
You don't have to
I
put them
don't
online.
I don't have to put them online. I don't have to, hold on to that, because I've thought about that too a lot. Is like, am I holding on to the past? What is this number about? Like, what am I holding on to? What am I not wanting to feel? Like what you said about feeling it. So, because it's still there. And I'm moving forward, not backward. Like, it's okay. I guess I'm trying to just tell myself it's okay if you get rid of, I need to get rid of tens of thousands, 10,000 pictures. But it's okay if I don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's okay if I just delete them and I don't put them somewhere else just to save. Because I have behind me is a desktop that gets used every 3 months, 4 months, not often. But on that computer are gazillions of pictures, probably from the boy's birth to when I got a cell phone and started dumping them on there. So,
But if you're like us, you've always had a digital camera since your kids were born. Like we got our first digital camera before Casey was born. So we have like our kids have a lifetime of digital
right.
memories.
Yes.
But because it's digital, we have like 14 pictures of the same shot. Like we have 14 images of the same shot, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so I feel like my brain that understands clutter is like, so if we built that muscle, if we made a habit of like working on photo clutter, specifically memory clutter, then you would eventually get to the point where like you're done doing your phone, and then you could like spend that 5 or 10 minutes a day on that desktop weeding that stuff out and like organizing stuff the way you want it to organize. That's turn my phone over because I last night and today I'm on a couple of group texts and people keep texting. And I was like, last night, I was like, I got to have a date. And you got to have your phone on because Noble wasn't here. And I was
Right.
like, you guys, it's date night. Stop texting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I-
but so I feel like it's just, I get really overwhelmed, and I feel like maybe this is just me, maybe it's all of us, but I get really overwhelmed when I think about all the things that I ought to do, I should do. Like I ought
Right.
to work out every day. I ought to count my calories every day. I ought to weigh myself every day. I ought to look at our bank balance every day. I ought to clean something every day. I ought to reach out to somebody every day. I ought to. And that's just like the inside of me stuff. That's not even like my work stuff. That's not even like my family stuff, my life stuff, my house stuff. And I get so overwhelmed sometimes with all the things that I want to do better that I just let
Right.
myself get to that place where I'm like, eh, someday. But man,
Someday.
I got like someday is not coming. Like it's
No. No.
just not. And
Right.
I'm like, like what you said about you're going forward, not backwards. I am doing a lot of great things in my life. And I can beat myself up for doing them before and stopping and having to start again. Because I don't know about you, but I am like a baby. Like I work on one habit and I get really good at it, and then I pick up a new skill, and it's like I'll start working out and I forget how to eat, or I'll start working on my eating and I'll forget to go to the gym, or I'll forget to do yoga, or I'll like I'll get really good at writing birthday cards and then I'll forget to look on Facebook to tell. Like I can't do, no, I can't. I choose not to. I don't do all the things in a day that I need to do, but I could do
A
more
lot of
if I thought about
oh
it, if I chose it instead of just letting my time go. And instead of, and like, think about how much time do we sit around feeling shame and regret?
yes.
Like how much time have you felt feeling bad? Like genuinely feel bad about your number. Like how much time have you spent like lamenting that number? Like, oh my gosh, I just took another 14 pictures. Because
Yes, I just keep
talking about this
adding.
for years.
Yes, just keep adding. I keep adding to that. And then I think about that. And then I think about, oh my gosh, there's all those up there. And then there's all these behind me on this computer. And then the thing for me is, do I just I'm just going to work on this and getting this number that I see every time I open my phone. And then, the ones on here and the ones up there. Because that's the other thing is, are my kids going to get on this computer one day and look at all those pictures? No. Are they going to go upstairs? Do they want to sit with me and look at those boxes and like make an Alex box and make a Matt box and take all those pictures? Probably the answer is no.
So
I mean,
my parents,
I don't know.
13 years ago, this last week, my parents had a house fire. And so after my dad died and after my mom didn't appear, like all of that stuff just got thrown in boxes because nobody had ever put it in albums or anything. So my mom was so sweet. And years ago, she gave each of the three of us a tub with our stuff, our pictures. But what she gave us was a tub of a lifetime of delayed decisions. So what she did was super nice, right? But then I had to figure out, like, then I added that on top of the stuff that I already had because, like, at that point, I hadn't even done our wedding album. I did our wedding album during quarantine when we'd been married for 22 years. But yeah, so like when I think about making books for Casey, making boxes for Noble, making whatever, I think they don't want that. Like they really, they don't. Like we're not saving. Well, I mean, you helped us get our system set up. We're not saving on their toys. We're not saving on their books. We're not saving on their clothes. We're not saving all the things because they're not looking back.
They don't.
We,
They really don't.
Mhm.
And I think, and I'm having like this moment. Oh, I just looked out and there's like this squirrel looking right at me like he's listening to us talk.
Maybe he has digital clutter. Pull out your little phone, scroll. What's your number?
What's your number? How many acorns have you been hiding? That's so cute. So yeah, so I don't think they look back. They really don't say, I don't know about your kid, like they don't save things. They just don't. And so I'm just trying to think of, Alex is going to be 19 in a couple weeks, and Matt is 16. What was 16-year-old, 19-year-old Brenda saving things? And I
Yes,
I
you did.
did.
Yes, you did because I knew
I
you.
did. I did save lots of things, but when I think about what the things that my mom was doing or saving, did I want her things? No, I still don't want her things.
That's my whole thing. Like, I don't want anybody. And like, I owe my sister-in-law Katie, I owe her such an apology because like when we decided to switch to our new Christmas stuff, I packed up all of our old Christmas stuff because it was nice, right? Like we spent a lot of money, a lot of time on it. And I put it in a bag and I passed it on to her because she was gonna get married or I don't know. They were earlier in their relationship. And I was like, okay. But then I just passed like the stuff that I didn't want to decide about. I just passed it to her. Right. And like, how many things have I done that? So one of the things is that like at my journey with clutter and decluttering and stuff and learning in the last, let's say 6 or 7 years, I have learned to ask people if they want it before I decide they should take it. Because I don't like it when people give me stuff. And I have learned too, and this is really hard to say, Mom, I won't appreciate that. or you don't want that. Like we had a car that was on my dad's desk, his last job, and it wasn't his car. His boss had given it to him, and then Noble played with it some at my mom's house, and she had given it to us. So it was this wooden carved car that meant nothing to anybody. That just was
Mhm.
one more thing collecting dust. And when Noble simplified his shelves the last time, that came off, and I just put it. I wasn't ready to deal with it, so I put it in our game cabinet where it continued to collect dust. And then when I cleaned that out over Christmas, I took a picture of it and I said, "Mom, do you want this back? Because we don't need it anymore." And I don't know if it hurt her feelings or not, but I was like, I did what I needed to do because I got it out of our house and made it one less
Mhm.
thing for Noble to have to hold on to and dust.
I wonder that just what yes, that car meant nothing to no one. And that's exactly right. When someone gives you some, it may have meant the world to them, but when they give it to you, it's just a thing, a car.
Like your
I
mom's.
wonder if our kids would give, yeah. I wonder in May if our kids would sit and do another Mother's Day with us and we could talk about this because also,
Oh, like what do they want? Or what do they
yes,
think
like
they want?
right. And what's important to them. And like the whole, like the camera roll, I think I'm not sure about Matt, but I know I've seen Alex does have pictures on his phone. I'd like to see because I think when they do have pictures on their phone, they're ones that really mean something or that they care about and they hold precious.
Mhm.
And so
See
I just,
see what they value.
right. Because I know they're, oh my gosh, I wonder what their numbers are. I really want to know. But, and you would think that
Verify that. Like,
in a,
don't funny text them, say, how many phones, how many pictures do you have on
yes,
your phone? Not what's your number? Because I don't think
that
I
was your
have that
number.
answer.
La, la, la. Right.
Your voice
Cause
would
it,
be like, "Huh?"
yeah, is, it's definitely one of those things that I'm embarrassed that it's so high.
Oh,
Is
I
there anyone out there
don't
who has it higher than me?
absolutely. I bet James
Mhm.
does. James has, I mean, so we're gonna
He's
do
a photographer though.
he is, yes. And he's yeah. But so I'm just gonna warn y'all now. This is gonna be a series because now we have like we've peeled. What is it? What did we do? We peeled back the what? Not a band-aid.
I feel like the onion, you know how like it's the skin of the onion, that
Mhm,
crunchy
I got
part,
it. Mhm.
you
So
like
yeah,
peeled
so we
that off.
started and we're gonna keep digging because like I want to know how many notifications you have. Like I want to know like how many unread emails you have. Don't tell me today, but I want to know like how many unread emails you have, how many voicemails you have. Oh my gosh, that stresses me out.
Yeah, voicemails is one thing that if I don't pick up, I dump pretty quickly. But the email, we'll talk about that another day because how many email addresses do you have? Why do I have so many? I have several. I won't talk about it, right? I have several. And so I believe that that's why that number climbs because I'm like, why do I have so many? But I mean, I have to have a work one, I have a personal one that was, anyways,
Well,
you
wait, how
know,
many email addresses do you have? Now I want to know. Do you know?
I have to count. I think I have 5. I have
So you still have Kevin, KB, you have
I have KB Parks, Kevin Brenda Parks,
Brenda,
because
because
I
you've
was
had it
like
forever.
forever, forever. And I get pretty like everyone has it, right? And I mean, how hard is it to text someone, mass text and say, hey, it's different. So then I created one called Brenda Parks at Gmail. So that's the one that I was gonna wean off KB and go to Brenda only, which now I use it for whenever I sign up for stuff online because
Um,
Gmail prioritizes, social and promotions and so whatever. Okay. So then I have the Real Estate Diva has one. That's 3. And then I have a work one.
I
That's
don't know what the fifth one
4.
is.
And the 5th one, is it normal bias? No, we don't have one, do we?
No, I don't think I
I
ever
think I
said it.
had maybe, okay, maybe I only have 4. But I thought I had 5, but it's 4.
Oh, whew.
Just let me check. Yeah. So it's Diva, Brenda, Work, KB Parks.
Yeah.
4.
I have a lot, but I have my ChristyJamesFriend.com. I used to, when I taught online and worked for Region 4, I had a cyber one. I had one for my consulting business. So I don't have those 2 anymore, but I have my personal one. I have my James Friend Creative one. And then I have like for our Sammy business, for our, like my clients, I do have a lot of emails, but I only, like I keep 2 on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are my
Yeah.
personal one that everybody has that I've had, I've had the same phone number since like before Tropical Storm Allison. I think I've had the same phone number since like 98.
Oh, wow.
I've had the same phone number, and I've had this email since probably the Christy@jamesfriend.com. I think I've had it since like 2000, even though I use my Glean
Mm-hmm.
for forever. So, so I do have a
Yeah,
lot of
me too.
emails, but I don't have like a junk email. I just have, like, I don't have one where I have like a fake email, like like a fake email where I enter that stuff. I just send that to my regular one and then I just weed it out. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's probably what I should have done, but with then that too, I gave it to some people. Like this really good friend of mine, he used to live in the neighborhood. He moved away, and that's the one. One day he's like, "What's your email?" And I gave him the Brenda one, and so that's the one he uses. And so, I mean, again, no big deal. I can just text and say, "Hey," But he sends me, emails from time to time, and I'm like,
Mhm.
another thing I postponed.
That's a story of my life, like finances, weight, all the things. But I'm determined. Like I was talking to Brenda, I am just determined to make good habits. And the thing about it is, like, I don't want to
Yeah,
be perfect. Like none of us is going to be perfect. We're going to be working
no, we're
up
not.
until the day we die. But
Mm-hmm.
for sure, there are several large areas of my life where I could cut down on my day to day thinking and stressing if I would just address those things.
Right.
And I think it's the heart
Yes.
behind it, right? Like if my goal is to be perfect, then that's not the right heart behind it. That's not a good goal to have for any of us. But if my goal is to live more simply, spend more time like doing the things that I want to do, and instead of like managing the things that I've not decided about and have put off. Yeah.
Well, and something I say to people, like I just heard myself telling someone someone this, or
Uh-huh.
I say it to people, is I'm looking at it as the big picture, all of the pictures. Like this is 16,000, like up there could be 16 more thousand. And then behind me, what another 5,000. So I'm thinking like the number is a million, and I have a million pictures to deal with. And that's what's stopping me when, like you said, 30 minutes
Just start 5 minutes,
and
1 minute.
just
You read Atomic
one,
Habits, 1 minute, Brenda.
one
Is this
minute.
better than the 0 that you spent yesterday?
Yes. And then I'll just do these first, and duh.
You know what? I'm not going to wait for March. I'm going to start now. I'm going to give it like 5 minutes a day. Actually, I may just give it 1 minute today because like 1 minute, but that's better than what I did yesterday. Because yesterday I didn't address it at all.
Right. I'm gonna do I'll take that 5 minutes and five. So I'm saying it out loud. 5 minutes a day.
5 minute
I
February.
5 minute February. 5 minutes. I'm going to sit and go through my roll and delete. I'll set the timer because it'll go off.
I
So
do love a good
see,
timer.
huh?
I love a good timer.
Me too. Okay, I'm doing that. 5 minute 5 minute February. And
Okay.
I can do that. I can do that. I love it. Okay. So see, I'm already feeling I have a plan. I'm feeling whatever that is. And feelings are funny. Like my body feels somehow just by saying I'm going to take 5 minutes a day to go through to weed out some pictures is making me feel better. I feel light, and I haven't even gotten rid of any yet.
So if you
I
were
feel, and it's probably that shame is just lifting, like, it's okay. It's okay. You just have to deal with it.
yeah, like forgive yourself, right? Like forgive yourself
myself.
that you like it's not and it's not even forgiving yourself that you did anything wrong. It's like forgiving that debt, right? Like I'm not even going to think about it anymore because it's in the past. All I'm going to think about is moving forward. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to take, when you and I get together, that I'm not going to take 74 pictures. It just means that I'm going to keep the 72 that my eyes are open in. And not the 2 that I'd be like, Brenda, why'd you post that one? When I look like, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have so many pictures like that, like in the world. So we, the Parents Association at Casey School does a random drawing where they pick a family every month to feature in the newsletter, and they, accidentally randomly chose us. So I had James kind of call and pull out a few pictures of us over the years. And there was one of them that he and Casey both liked, but I'm holding like baby Casey and I look like this. I was like, I can't. I just can't. So I didn't even send it in. I was like, I just can't. I can't put any more of the pictures like me out in the world, like where I've got like one eye like kind of open. I just can't.
That's so funny. Yes. Okay, 5 minutes. And that's basically kind of what I've been doing in my closet, y'all. I am so excited about this. I have been
We talked about it last week.
Yes. So I've just to recap, I've been putting in a pile all the things in the closet that I wear that aren't comfortable or have a rip or I never really liked. When I say wear, some of the things I haven't worn. And then I'm giving some other stuff a chance. Like, okay, I haven't worn this in a while, became part of the landscape, like we talked about. And then so I'm wearing it to work and reminding myself, like, why haven't you worn this? Like, because I can't think of a thing. Like, I think if it's okay, it's not ripped, it's not torn, it's, still looks good. Why haven't you worn it? So I've been wearing things to work. And it's funny because I've been getting compliments on some of the things that I'm wearing. And it's like, I like hee inside my brain because I'm like, look, you've had these things and you haven't worn them. And some of them I'm like, why haven't I worn this? Like, this is really cute. This is really comfortable.
You forget.
So it's been, yes. And what's so great about it is I've probably filled a bag by now. As when I'm getting ready for work, I'm getting dressed and it's not a chore. I feel like, oh, yay, I'm putting this on because it's something I like. It's something that's comfortable. I'm not tugging at it. I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to get home and take this thing off. It's so uncomfortable. I'm like, why haven't I done this before?
Because we don't stop. We just like that's the whole thing. I've had a couple of meetings with new or potential clients this week, and the thing that people don't understand is it's hard. Like we just get through our days, like we've got our heads down, we're getting through, we're working. And my job, a lot of what I do is extra, right? Social media. And so when you're already busy running your business, the thought of stopping to take a picture or explaining what you're doing to run your business, people don't understand. Like it sounds great, like, oh, I should do social media. But what that looks like is you've got to stop and take time to do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't like, we like think about, we were talking about eating at home and all the things like, but why didn't we eat at home before? Because I didn't want to take the time to plan the meal, buy the food, cook the food. My thing is I don't want to clean the kitchen all the time. And so the trade-off has been, we have that gas, we have a black top gas stove. Well, so there's crumbs on my stove. And every day or so I clean them off, but it's not like before, like I wasn't cooking in there. So all I had to do was dust it. I didn't have to like clean it. But now I just live with it a little bit dirty because the other option is to clean it every meal. And I don't want to do that either. So there's always a trade-off.
Yeah. There's always, yes. And it's funny, it's like 5 minutes to do the pictures. That's really, so what I've been doing in closet on Sunday night before, work, because at the elementary school, there's usually sometimes there's a theme, or there's, Tuesday we can wear team shirts, whatever. So I can kind of lay out a week. But so on Sundays, I've been kind of like looking, okay, what do I want to wear? What do I have to wear? And then that's when I've been like, oh, you know what? That's not comfortable. Oh, I haven't worn that in however long. And so I've been carving out that time, which I kind of like unconsciously doing it,
Mhm.
but I set it aside without even realizing, now that we're talking about it, is that that's kind of what I've done. Is on Sunday before the week, I've just been kind of picking what I'm going to wear, and then noticing some stuff. So,
What that made me think about was it's so easy. Like, because right now, so whenever we talk to people about starting new habits or whatever, right? Like, your thought is, when am I going to find 5 minutes? You know what?
mhm.
I spend 5 minutes a day scrolling on my phone. I spend 5 minutes here and there
Yes.
scrolling on my phone. So all I have to do is choose to do something productive instead of something not so productive.
Oh, but the
Or,
non-productive stuff is so fun.
or like, like if you pick up your kid from school, like maybe you work on some digital decluttering instead of scrolling Instagram, or instead of, a lot of people watch TikTok before bed. Well, maybe you spend 5 minutes and I don't know. I mean, whatever your habit, like you have 5 minutes, like that's the whole thing is
Yes, I do. And
we
you're
all
right.
do.
I can find it.
And
I
we don't need to
can.
be productive. Like that's the whole thing. I feel like everything that comes out of my mouth, I need a disclaimer. You don't need to be productive every minute that you're awake, and you shouldn't. Like your brain needs rest, your body needs rest.
Mhm.
But the truth of it is, we all waste time. We
Mhm.
always
Yes.
all waste money. We all waste effort. But if we
Oh my
just
gosh.
repurpose some of that,
I love that so much. We don't have to be productive all the time, but we all waste time. That is so, so true. Wow.
but there's really science. I was actually reading an article this morning about how our brain needs rest, and how even like when you're resting, your brain is working. And so for if people who are creative, who like, that when you do something else that's not work related, or that's not directly related to the problem you're trying to solve, or the thing you're trying to design, your brain will work it out. Like I can't tell you how many times I wake up in the morning with an answer to a question, or I can see whatever it was. Like I'm working on a logo right now, and like I just have to sit with it. And I know that one of these days I'll wake up, or I'll be in the shower, and I'll be able to see it. It'll come,
Mhm.
but
Right.
it won't come when I'm churning, trying to be busy and make it happen. It'll come when my brain is like playing and resting. And there's really
Even
no science. Nerd.
no, I love it. It's kind of like when I walk in a room and I'm say, why did I come in here for? And I cannot remember. And then I'll like try and try. I'll stand there for like however long. It seems like an hour, but it's maybe a minute. I'm like, oh well, whatever. So as soon as I walk into the other room and I let it go, like it'll come back.
Your
And then I'm
brain.
always praying it will come back. Yeah. And then my brain, I stop thinking so intently about it. And then all of a sudden, whatever it is will spark it. And I'm like, I remember. And then I run really fast to go do it so I don't forget again.
I feel like this
So
is
that does
yeah.
definitely make sense. I just need to let my brain find it again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Making it try to find it again. Oh my gosh, so fun talking to you all of the time.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
we
So
talked
I
about
can't.
recording too this morning, but I'm like, I need to like let my brain wrap around the things that we've talked about.
Oh yes, I agree. I completely agree. And I really want to dive deep into some of y'all's numbers and help each other.
Mhm.
I'm like, what is
Yeah.
someone else? Hopefully I'm not the highest. Anyway, it's fine if I am. It's fine if I am. I've done it to myself.
Okay, but what
I'm gonna get myself out of it.
I'm such a reframer, right? Like, so what if you're the highest? That just means that you're going to make the most progress.
Ah, love that. Thanks, friend.
You're welcome. Like, you're going to be the biggest winner. Because it won't be like if I only had
Yay.
like 4 extra photos, it'd be like, whatever. I don't need this challenge.
Whatever.
Yeah. Like, but there's something else that I need, right? Like there's lots of, there's lots of things. But yeah. So,
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited. And I haven't had coffee yet. So I'm going to go make coffee and sit and do my 5 minutes right after we talk.
Oh, very cool. You know what? I might
Yeah.
do since I have some time before we leave for our shoot. So
well, have a great day. Enjoy the shoot. It's a beautiful day.
I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good day all around up here. And I hope you have a great day. And I want good before and afters of your room.
Okay.
Because I always forget that part.
I do forget that too. And I will definitely send it. So, okay, y'all.
Have a good Saturday. Y'all have a good Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Oh, and happy Valentine's Day.
Oh my gosh, that's true. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yeah, because it'll be the 11th. That means that tomorrow is Denise Mayberry Murph's birthday. Denise, I don't think you listen, but if you do, happy birthday. What else will it be? Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I'll be in Austin. So yay. Good things.
Here.
So, yay.
All right, girl. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. All right, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
I'll see you. Bye.
See ya.
Hey y'all, I'm Brenda.
And I'm Christy. We're two friends from high school who are connecting and reconnecting over music and memories.
Welcome to Normal Bias Podcast.
We're glad you're here.
Hey y'all, are you still watching? Are you still listening?
We're so glad that you're still with us. If you want to connect online, we're at www.normalbiaspodcast.com, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And our very favorite, if we made you a mixtape, we'd put all those songs on our Spotify playlist for you.
All the things.